The modern half-ton truck has become a plastic, disposable machine. If you try to tow heavy with a twin-turbo V6, you are not buying a real truck. You are buying a grenade with a warranty. But the V8 is not dead yet. There is a small group of engines that reject the EPA idea of small displacement and high stress. We call these the forever engines. They depend on cast iron, big displacement, and mechanical simplicity. If you want a truck that will outlive you, this is the only list that matters. First, you have to understand the physics of why modern engines fail. It comes down to one word: heat. When you take a small 3-liter engine and force enough air into it to make 400 horsepower, you are creating a thermal machine. To tow a 10,000-pound RV up a hill, the turbochargers are spinning at 200,000 RPM, compressing hot air into the cylinders. This increases the cylinder pressure to dangerous levels. To stop the engine from melting, the computer injects extra fuel into the cylinders to cool them down. But that heat has to go somewhere. It goes into the oil, it damages the bearings, and it destroys the plastic connectors under the hood. A large displacement V8 does not have this issue. It makes power through leverage, not pressure. This brings us to number 1, the Godzilla. I am talking about the Ford 7.3-liter gas V8. To understand why this is the king, look at what Ford did in 2020. They looked at the failure rates of their own EcoBoost engines in heavy-duty use and decided to build a dinosaur. They built a massive cast-iron pushrod monster. It has no turbos to overheat. It has no complex overhead cams to fail. It has no cylinder deactivation to destroy lifters. It is a dump truck engine disguised as a pickup engine. Ford put these engines in shuttle buses and box trucks that run 12 hours a day. When you put it in a consumer Super Duty, it is barely working. Critics say it gets terrible fuel economy. They are right. It drinks fuel like a 1970s muscle car. But do the math. Fuel is cheaper than a $15,000 engine replacement after warranty. Number 2 is the budget king. If you cannot afford a brand new Ford, you need the General Motors 6.0-liter Vortec, specifically the L96 Iron Block version. It is not the most powerful engine on this list, but it has one big advantage over modern GM trucks. It does not have active fuel management. It does not have cylinder deactivation that destroys valve trains in new engines. It runs on all 8 cylinders all the time. Mechanics call these the cockroaches of the truck world because they do not die. The body of the Chevy might rust and the door handles might fall off, but that V8 will start every morning for 300,000 miles. Number 3 is the million-mile legend, the Toyota 5.7-liter V8, the 3UR-FE. This is the engine Toyota built before they switched to twin-turbo V6 engines. This engine is legendary for one reason: Victor Shepard. In 2016, he dropped off a 2007 Tundra with 1 million miles on the original engine. When Toyota engineers opened it, the internal measurements were still within factory specifications. That durability is almost impossible with modern twin-turbo engines because the internal pressures are much higher. If you can find a low-mileage Tundra built between 2018 and 2021, buy it. You are buying the last overbuilt Toyota. Number 4 is the modern diesel exception. Usually, people say avoid modern diesels because of emission systems, but if you tow heavy, you need torque. The only one mechanics trust is the Ford 6.7-liter Power Stroke, built after 2015. Ford designed this engine in-house. It uses a reverse flow design that puts the turbo in the valley of the engine for faster response. But the main reason it makes this list is the bottom end. It uses 6 bolts from main bearing cap. That is serious over-engineering. It creates a bottom end that can handle massive torque without flexing. The emission system may fail, but the engine internals are extremely strong. Number 5 is the pre-emission Chevy, the LBZ Duramax. This engine was only made for a short time around 2006 to 2007, but many people consider it the best Duramax engine ever built. It has the strength of modern Duramax engines, but without the restrictive emission equipment. No DEF fluid, no DPF filter. It's paired with the famous Allison 1000 6-speed transmission. This engine and transmission combination is the gold standard for Chevy trucks. Finally, number 6, the Holy Grail, the 5.9-liter Cummins, especially the 12-valve and 24-valve models. Why is this engine the king? Because of what it doesn't have. No DEF, no DPF, no EGR. The 5.9-liter is basically a tractor engine. It's loud, it vibrates, and it smells like a real truck. The Dodge around it might fall apart at 200,000 miles, but the engine will keep running forever. But having a strong engine is only half the story. Now we need to talk about the transmission trap. You can have a million-mile engine, but if the transmission is weak, the truck is useless. Modern trucks are obsessed with gear counts, 10 speeds, 8 speeds, even 9 speeds. They do this for fuel economy. By having more gears, the computer keeps the engine at low RPM on the highway to save fuel. But for towing, this is not good. A 10-speed transmission is always shifting. This constant shifting creates heat, and heat destroys transmissions. The trucks on this forever list use simpler, stronger transmissions. Older 6-speed transmissions may get worse fuel economy, but they have thicker clutch packs and simpler designs. They are built to handle torque, not just to save fuel. Here's the final verdict. The era of the do-everything truck is over. A truck cannot get 25 mpgs and tow 10,000 pounds. That is against physics. You have to choose. Do you want a computer on wheels that saves fuel but may break, or do you want a real tow machine? Buy displacement, buy iron, and don't worry too much about fuel economy.